Welcome, everyone, to the NFL edition of the Predictive Playbook. These gridiron shows between college football and the NFL have combined for a 14-4 ATS record against the spread, is what that means, for 82% winners. And guess what's best of all? They're all free. And we love doing them for you. So we're going to look to keep the winning ways going with Jesse Schule and Dr. Chuck. And I'm going to lead things off here with a play on the New England Patriots, who are taking on the Houston Texans. I was very impressed Sunday night with Mac Jones and his ability and his poise in such a monumental moment as a rookie quarterback, going up head to head and really toe to toe against Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. It was truly a remarkable performance by the Patriots, who really came within a clunked field goal there at the end and would have won it by a point. So we don't believe in, moral victories per se, but I think this was a momentum builder for the Patriots. And this is a team that's on my radar to get better and better and better as the season progresses. And don't be surprised if they're one of those final four teams in the NFL come January. So keep an eye on them. The one thing I didn't like particularly is they had 8 rushes for 1 yard, but however, that was against a very good Tampa Bay defensive unit that is banked up in the secondary, mind you, but they are pretty solid up front. Houston got walloped 40-0 by Buffalo, failing to cover the 18.5-point generous spread. This team is in just complete disarray. I don't know how to call it, guys. I mean, they're just a bad team. They rank dead last in just about all the defensive categories. They barely had 100 yards in total offense against Buffalo last week. So I really don't see any problem here laying even double digits, which is, I think the line's currently 9.5. I would go up to as high as 11.5 on this game, because I think with the confidence of Mac Jones and his poise and his understanding of the game, they're just going to shred them just like Buffalo did last week. If you bet on favorites of 3.5 for 10 points, and it's a team with an average rushing defense allowing 100 to 125 yards per game, going up against a non-divisional foe that struggles like Houston does, gaining less than 100 yards rushing per game. And with that team being Houston coming off 2 consecutive games where they didn't even gain close to 100 yards, that all turns into a 53-20 against the spread record for 74% winning bets that supports the New England Patriots. So there you have New England as our first bet. We're going to move on here to the Bills and the Chiefs, which is going to be Dr. Chuck. This is the marquee game Sunday night on NBC at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Line is Kansas City minus 2.5, over under 56.5. Chiefs are 2-2, Bills are 3-1. Where are you going to take us with this one, Dr. Chuck?
So it's a rematch of last year's AFC title game. That's a fun time here in Arrowhead again. So just quick history. That game, of course, landed 38-24 by the Chiefs getting to the Super Bowl, 62 points. A couple things that immediately jumped off the page to me is this is the biggest total of the season. Haven't had a 55 or higher total yet this year. Only 6 times, I think, since the beginning of 2019 has a total been this high. Probably not high enough is how I rate this. Buffalo has an offense that can compete step by step with the Chiefs. And then there's the Chiefs defense. They started off that game against the Eagles with the defense optional approach here against Jalen Hurts offense. The Eagles, that's, just not a good offense. They're mediocre at best. Chiefs have allowed in their 4 games this season, 29, 36, 30, and 30 points. And I think they're playing the best offense of the year. On the Bills' end, they should have, by all ratings, they have the top DVOA defense. They have the top DVOA pass defense, the top DVOA rush defense. But they also have the 32nd ranked schedule, according to Football Outsiders, to this point, too. And, Patrick Mahomes, the way they started the season, needs every game like blood. And so we're talking, Vegas is telling us with a -3 spread at about 56, 57 that they think the Chiefs are going to win this 30-27 or in that range. And I am very bullish on the Bills getting into the 30s this time, and playing this game like they really mean it. And I'm not saying that the Bills are going to win this game, and I'm not going to give you an impression on the side, but everything about it, is just that, even just hanging, if we didn't need any analysis other than hanging the biggest number of the year, is going to tell people, hey, look, we want you to take the under, and I'm going to go the opposite.
Yeah, I like the play. In fact, I just looked up on the database. The over is 24-8 going back to 1990 with totals of greater than 57 points. So that supports Chuck's pick, and I like it quite a bit. Let's move on to the last game here with Jesse Schule. We're going over to London and Wembley. Wembley Stadium is where we're going to take place with this game. And this is the Jets taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And, it's always misfortune that a team gets selected to go over to London because of the travel, and they really never respond well when they come back for about 2 weeks. So that's an important trend to keep in mind for when these two teams come back across the pond to the United States. But I know Jesse has a really strong play on this matchup. So, Jesse, take it away and tell us where you're headed.
Well, the Jets are coming off their first win of the season, of course, and that was at home against a banged up Titans team with no wide receivers. I think the Jets actually got quite lucky last week when you look at the statistics. Tennessee didn't play that badly. They had the edge in first downs, almost twice as many first downs, 30-16. They had the edge in total yards, 430 to 355. They started off quite well. Derrick Henry was dominating, but they ended up settling for field goals in the first three scoring plays, and that wasn't good enough in the end. Zach Wilson had a decent game, only one interception, but Wilson, of course, has thrown twice as many picks as he has touchdowns this season. Now the Jets are heading to London, so a lot of variables for a rookie quarterback that's struggling. They aren't exactly facing the toughest opponent. The Falcons are struggling as well, but the Falcons are coming off of a loss to Washington. They were a little bit unlucky in that game. Atlanta led 10-0 early. They led 17-13 at the half, and they had a 30-22 lead late or early in the fourth quarter. They ended up giving up 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes and 52 seconds. It wasn't Matt Ryan's fault. Matt Ryan actually played quite well. He threw for 283 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And in a matchup with the Jets, Matt Ryan versus a rookie quarterback that's throwing so many interceptions, I think the Jets are in trouble here. They rank dead last in the league in scoring with 11.8 points per game. And I don't see Zach Wilson matching serves with Matty Ice. So I'm going to take Atlanta.
Yeah, I love that pick too. And there you have it, guys and gals out there. Hope you enjoyed this show. To recap, I am on the New England Patriots up to minus 11.5. I think that game is just going to get ugly real quick. And Dr. Chuck is on the over in the Kansas City Buffalo game. That's the marquee Sunday night football game starting at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Jesse Schule went over to London and is taking Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons to take care of business against those New York Jets. Guys, thanks a lot for your time. And on behalf of Dr. Chuck, Jesse Schule, and myself, may all the wins be yours this week.